Hey, it's Jenny from Craft&Vinyl Studio. Thank you so much for purchasing the Interchangeable Circle Sign. To start your sign, you're going to take your shiplap circle and foam brush and white paint, and you're going to paint your first layer of white. This paint will not cover in one coat, so you'll definitely need more than one coat. So for your first layer, just do a nice thin coat, and after you're finished, put it off to the side for maybe 5 to 10 minutes to dry, and then you're going to get it ready for your second coat. So before you paint your second coat, you'll want to take the sandpaper in your kit and give it a light sanding just to give that smooth surface for the next layer of paint. So here's what it looks like after one coat. You'll see it needs a little bit more paint, so go ahead and do another thin coat on there. And when you're finished, just set it off to the side to dry while we do the rest of the sign. No need to worry about those shiplap lines. We'll get to that in just a minute. So you're going to take your insert and paint it black, or if you've chosen another color, use that, but you're just going to paint that. It might need 2 coats, might just need 1, but make sure you're doing those nice thin coats so it doesn't get chunky. When you're finished, set that off to the side so it can dry, and grab the circle. And we're going to use a faux stain technique called the baby wipe method. So take your baby wipe that's included in your kit, dip it a little bit into your brown paint, and then you're just going to rub it onto that circle. And you'll see at first it just looks like paint, but as you kind of put a little pressure and rub it, it starts to take on that stained look. If you want it a little bit darker, you could do another coat. If you want it a little bit lighter, just use less paint or rub it a little bit more, and that brown paint will come off a little bit more to make it lighter for you. Set that off to the side so it can dry, and then we're going to go back to that shiplap circle. Take the push pin that was in your kit and just kind of score along each line. And some paint will come out from the first 2 coats that you put. You want to make sure your circle is pretty dry at this point, so those little remnants of paint that are coming out of the scored lines don't stick, but you can kind of just brush them off and you'll see those lines reappear for you. And you can put that off to the side. Our next step is to paint the words from your kit. So you're going to take the makeup applicator sponge that came in your kit along with your white paint, and you're just going to dip the end into the paint, and then you're going to dab off the excess onto something like a paper plate or even the lid like I've done here. You just don't want a lot of paint on there, and you're just going to dab it onto the top of the letters, of the wood letters. You don't need to paint the sides, you can leave them. Now sometimes they kind of lift up off the paper. So one trick that I use sometimes is to put the pieces on a piece of masking tape, and it kind of holds them down while you're painting. So same thing, just make sure you have a little bit of paint on that sponge, not too much, and just give it a light little dab. If you're painting white, these might take more than 1 coat. So just take a look after each coat and see if you want to add more paint or if it looks good. When you're ready to put them onto the circle, you're going to take that cutout, the extra part that came, and set it down on top of the black circle, and then you're going to take your wood cutout letters and place them where they go. This will help all of your words and letters line up nicely. So just stick them in like so. And when everything is where it should be, you are going to lift up that circle and all your letters will be in the right space. There you go. Then one by one, you're just going to lift each letter and put a little bit of the E6000 wood glue on the back. You don't want to put very much, just a little bit, because if you put too much it will squirt out when you place it on the sign. So make sure this is really sticky and it bonds really well, so you don't need a ton. So put it back where it was, give it a light little pat Just a little bit of pressure, and then move on to the next letter. Just do each letter one by one until they're all glued on. And then you're going to take your ring and do the same thing. So put some E6000 on the back. You don't have to go all the way around. It does hold really well. And then make sure it's lined up where you want it to go, right in the middle. And you're going to place it on your sign, give it a little bit of pressure, and put it off to the side so it can dry. If you want to do any kind of distressing, you can use your sandpaper to kind of rough up the edges, or you can just leave it like it was originally. To make your greenery, all you're going to do is take the two ends of the greenery that came in your kit and your twine and wrap it around nice and tight. You might want to do more than one layer, kind of wrap it around and then go back to cover. When you feel like you've wrapped to your liking, then take your glue gun and squirt a little bit of hot glue on there and put that twine back over the hot glue, and it will glue to itself. And when it's dry, you can snip off any excess twine that remains. After you're finished, that will obviously be the back, and you will put some hot glue on there and place it on your sign where you want it to go. You can also place your insert in at this time. And to make the stand, you will take the two parts and kind of slide them together like shown. Now you'll want to paint yours before. In this example, I did not paint them first, but you'll want to paint before. And then it just goes together just like that, and you can set your sign in. It'll fit just right. And then you have your sign. So thank you so much. I hope you had fun.